Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and this is sort of a progress report video because I've been so busy doing other things this week I didn't manage to start on a machine shop type project. These things happen, you know. I had problems with the riding mower, and I had lots of other things that I had to do, including I had to practice seriously for the Steel Challenge, which was this past Sunday. And I got my best ever time on 5 stages. I was down to, I think it was 88.2 seconds, something like that, which is a pretty good improvement for me, and with hopes that I can keep on going down to 60. Probably a really imaginary hope, but hey, you know, other people can do 60 seconds, maybe I can. I discovered too with the riding mower the problems I had there. I repaired it twice because the first time didn't work out too grand, and I discovered that with these small engines and you got a carburetor problem, there's no point in buying parts for the carburetor. You can go on eBay and get a whole new carburetor for $20, shipping included. And so that's pretty much the way that things wind up here. I've even got a spare for next year when the problems come up again. I just, you know, toss the old one, put on a new one, and away we go. It seems like this, I guess maybe it's all the ethanol in the gasoline that's causing all the trouble. And I've been told, well, you can buy this stuff that's guaranteed to be good gasoline. It's only $20 a gallon. Well, I use several gallons a year, so it's cheaper just to buy another carburetor than that pure gasoline stuff that's $20 a gallon, you know. Alright, so anyway, we'll have a little joke, Bubba joke at the end of this one. People told me we wouldn't want it at the end of the other one, so I'm going to throw one in here. Alright, and so let's just get on with what I call the progress report. This is what I'm doing to entertain myself in between doing reviews for Chinese rifle scopes. That little guy right there, carburetor there, he's the guy causing my trouble. It's either got corrosion from all the alcohol, or it's full of dirt or something. I have to run this thing with a choke on, which is not normal. And of course I'm going to have to take the shroud off to get all the carburetor linkage hooked back up, because it's hidden away up under there. So maybe I'll put the camera on this now and again as we go along. You can see the incredibly good mount for the gas tank. Great big tie wrap. I know rednecks built this thing. Not as much crud in this as usual, but there's crud in there to clean out, so no doubt it's dirt and probably leftover corrosion from the alcohol and the gasoline. Well, like always, I took apart a lot of stuff I didn't really need to. This is the problem. This is a little solenoid that goes on the bottom of the carburetor, and it plugs up the main jet that sucks gas out of the carburetor bowl. They call it an anti-afterfire solenoid, and they say that if you don't block the jet there from sucking in gas, when you turn off the key, the engine will be coasting down and it'll backfire in the muffler. And it's been doing plenty of backfiring here lately. Good news is I found this on Amazon for under $10, and it'll be here Friday. So I can put everything else back together, and I don't have to mow until today's Friday. The little plastic finger on that solenoid shoves right up there against where the jet sucks in the gasoline, and the only reason I've been able to get it running is it leaks through some, and I can put the choke all the way on and it'll run. And of course, because it's not tight up against there, it sucks in gasoline and backfires. But I'm going to put the little carburetor back on, put it all back together except for that one piece. But I am going to clean it out with the carburetor cleaner. And so at this point, I put the carburetor back together and put the thing in the shed because, you know, it was fixed, at least I felt like, because it would start. And, you know, I drove it around, put it in the shed. Next day I went to get it out to cut the grass, and I turned it over and bang, the piston would stop dead still like it hit a piece of metal. And so I did a little bit of checking, and I pulled the spark plug out of the little booger and started to turn it over, and whoosh, it blew about a gallon of gasoline out of the cylinder. So I thought, well, okay, so the float stuck on that carburetor or something, and the gasoline just kept right on pouring down through there and going into the engine. And then I thought, well, that solenoid should have closed off the main jet so that gasoline couldn't keep flowing into the engine, and so it must be the wrong one. So I figured that at that point I got on eBay, ordered a whole new carburetor. The little booger came in, I put the new carburetor on it, and I also ordered a positive cutoff valve. I got like 10 of them for $8 on eBay there. I only needed one, but you know, I got 10 of them. And got the new carburetor in, I installed it, and I, you know, cranked her up, and everything works fine now. And I've got a positive shutoff valve that, you know, I can turn off the gasoline, and it's not going to gravitate down there no matter what works or doesn't work. And I changed the oil, you know, because I figured the crankcase was probably full of gasoline. And that made my mind up that no more taking apart little small engine carburetors. Just buy another one, throw that away, and start over. Of course, I think I'll probably break up that old carburetor and put it into my crucible. I want to do a little casting if making if making a pattern works with the 3D printer, then I'm going to make a little small casting, and that carburetor ought to be good stuff for it. Alright, well, let's move on with a little bit more stuff. I'll show you my trip to the auction, what I got for that, and I don't know if you're interested or not, but it's short. Just got back from the auction. This load of stuff cost me $16, and I spent another $10 on a case of Scotch-Brite discs. So now I got to figure how I'm going to arrange everything in the garage. Got way more than I wanted. And I think that I've ended the day on a good note. I've got that nice big file cabinet there. That was a $5 item. And back behind here I've got a 2-drawer cabinet to take the place of the little 2-drawer that didn't have a top on it. And the little 2-drawer that didn't have a top on it, I've moved over here. Well, let me get hold of this thing. And he is now residing over here, and this will be the top for it. I'm not sure how to hold it really steady. Maybe just be patient with it, I guess. But I've got 4 of these gray drawers. I got 4 gray drawers and a little file cabinet, and I'll show you the file cabinet. And I got that file cabinet, so the 2-drawer thing, this file cabinet, and 4 drawers and a bunch of framework for metal furniture for $6. So I think I've got all the storage that I need now, pretty sure, at least for the foreseeable future. Of course, you know, space is made to be filled up because the nature of hard is a vacuum. So it may not last as long as I think, but right now I'm way ahead of the game. And I didn't have to go and try to imitate Matthias Wandel in making wood drawers. All these are already made, and they got drawer guides, and they work wonderful. Well, one evening Bubba was sitting there watching TV, drinking a couple of Lone Stars, and he looked around, and there's his mother-in-law. She just passed right out on the floor. Well, that kind of alarmed everybody. Bubba called the ambulance, and they come out and hauled her off to the hospital and took her in there. And after she'd been in there about an hour and a half, something like that, doctor come out to Bubba and says, well, he says, I got good news and bad news. Bubba says, well, he says, I reckon you ought to just give me the bad news first. Doctor says, well, he says, your mother-in-law had a tremendous stroke. He says, she's pretty well totally paralyzed except for being able to talk. And he says she can't really talk much right. She mostly yells and says, unintelligible things. He says, you realize what this means, don't you? And Bubba says, well, I don't know. What do you mean? Doctor says, he says, you're going to have to feed her every day. You're going to have to hand feed her. He says she can't walk to the bathroom or nothing. You're going to have to get her up and take her to the bathroom, and you're going to have to bathe her and all this sort of thing. He says, you're going to have to do this the rest of her life because, she ain't going to get any better. Bubba looked at him and says, well, he says, what's the good news? The doctor says, I was just kidding. She died. Pierre, you laughed at it. Don't go getting on to me. I saw you laugh at it. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.